Imagine hearing this song on the radio and realizing halfway through they might be singing about eating someone. This actually happened, and the craziest part, people didn't stop listening. They made it a hit. There's a song from the 1970s called Timothy, and it got banned from multiple radio stations. Not because it was violent, but because of what people think it implies.
Elliot, what started like any other day on the job for a group of miners ended with a massive...
3 men trapped in a mine, no food, no way out. Then one of them disappears. Timothy. Now you'd expect the song to explain what happened. It doesn't. They just keep singing, and somehow the other 2 survive. Radio stations started catching on. Wait a minute. What are they actually saying here? Did they just imply cannibalism on the radio? Some stations pulled it immediately, but others didn't, because technically they never say it. They just never say what happened to Timothy, and that made people listen harder. They replayed it, they argued about it, they tried to decode it, and the more it got banned, the more popular it became. So here's where it gets weird. Was it actually meant to be about cannibalism?
They were a real group. He said, "What do I do?" I said to him, all of 20 years old, I said, "I think you should have them record a song that gets banned." And he said, "Why? I'm trying to get them noticed." I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "But if it gets banned, there will be controversy. You can go to another label and say, this is that they would have had a hit, but their record was banned. This is a very controversial group."
No, it was written as a joke. The songwriter thought it would be funny to slip something dark into a normal song and to see if anyone noticed. They didn't expect this, because once people noticed, they couldn't unhear it. And for years, it stayed just a weird song, a creepy theory, until something happened.
But a mother named Carolyn thinks about what happened to her daughter.
And I feel everyone should know what happened to her because it was a brutal murder. He chewed a part of her intestines.
In 2002, a rapper named Big Lurch was found in the street, completely naked, covered in blood. What happened inside that apartment? At first, they thought he was on drugs. They were right, but not in the way that you think, because what police found didn't make sense. There was a body, mutilated, and parts of it were missing. Was this actually cannibalism? According to the reports, yes. But here's where it gets even stranger. Does Big Lurch remember doing it? No.
All I can remember, the world was gonna end, and I had to find the devil to kill the devil before the world ended. That's the last thought
He claims he was high and that he was set up, that his own record label framed him to sell records. And whether that was true or not, what happened next is real. After he was locked up, his image, his story was used. Album covers, lyrics, shock value. Were they telling the truth or turning something real into marketing? Because in one of his lyrics, he says it himself. He compares himself to serial killers, horror killers, Jason, Michael. But this wasn't a movie.
Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger, Jeffrey Dahmer, Charles Manson, and all of your friends are Prince to school ya. Cause murder's a hobby, I'm using a torture chamber and not a Ruger. So if you wake up and I put in my blood, nigga, I did it to you.
And suddenly, that old song doesn't feel so funny anymore. 3 men trapped, 1 disappears, 2 survive. Now the question changes. Why do stories like this keep showing up in music? As jokes, as shock, as real life? Because maybe they're not connected at all. Or maybe we just don't want them to be. So did Big Lurch actually do it? Or is there more to the story? And what really happened to Timothy? Because the song never tells you, and neither does real life. And once you hear both stories, you start noticing something. These aren't the only ones.